Hey, what's going on, guys? This is White Chaos, so welcome back to another H1Z1 video. If you guys didn't watch part 1 of these patch notes, I will have it linked in the comments down below as well as the description. I went over a vast majority of the patch notes, but I just didn't do them in one particular video because the video would be probably 20 minutes long, and I know you guys probably don't want to watch that, but I guess it would have been easier. Whatever, I'm doing 2 parts, that's how it is now, and in this section, I'm going to be going over the user interface updates, Lammies, vehicles, and other items of note. So let's get right into it. If you guys enjoy the video, don't forget to smash that like button and also subscribe to the channel for more H1Z1 content coming soon to a White Chaos YouTube channel near you. So let's get right into it, starting off with user interfaces updates. Cleaning up the user interface continues with all of the enhancements targeted at making it easier to play the game. This starts with improvements to forming a duos or fives group in-game. Now there is a section of the group panel that lists the players that you have recently played with. Want to play with that player again? Go ahead and invite to your group and keep playing. If you're a part of the group but not the leader, you can suggest someone from your friends list to the leader to invite into your group. Similar system on how PlayStation Network currently works on PS4. If somebody's a leader of a party and it's private, and you're not the leader, you can invite somebody in there, or I guess suggest somebody in there, and then the leader has to manually invite that person in, just in situations where it's, just easier to do. So that's really cool. Invites received through Steam will also persist longer, so if you receive an invite before launching the game, you will have time to launch the game and accept the invite. Thank God, I hated telling everybody, oh, re-invite me, because I was too slow loading up the game. If you play with a group of random players and want to keep that group together to play more, there is now an ability to stay together and go into another game. That's actually really cool as well. I met a few people throughout, playing with randoms that I actually do play with, every once in a while now in duos and fives, so that's a really cool option right there that they're adding. All of the endgame information will now animate in piece by piece on a single screen. The animation can be skipped with a single click. This change was necessary to get a play again system in place, which is something that you will see in a future update. A new panel that has been added to the main menu to make it easier to discover events, skirmishes, and anything else going on in the game. Pro tip, the panel is linked to the arena in the game that is referencing, so if there is news on a skirmish in the panel, clicking on it will take you straight to the play menu for skirmishes. So that's really awesome. I was actually talking to somebody about this today, saying, why don't they just advertise the little skirmish thing at the menu so people know when they're live and what the skirmish is about, so more people actually queue up, because I had to go in there for a thumbnail that I ended up changing anyways for today's video, and there was only 20 people in there. It took about 5 minutes to start, and all I wanted was a freaking thumbnail for a sniper, but it took about 5 minutes to start. So this is a really cool system that they're doing right here. We finished work on the inventory back end for the in-game inventory screens. The most obvious change from this is that the inventory will now auto-sort while it is open. That is really cool. If you remove an item from your inventory while trying to manipulate it or loot, a blank spot will remain there for consistency. Only when you close and reopen the inventory will the items resort to fill the empty spaces. That is awesome as well. Now onto a big one everybody had discussions about, Lammies. After a lot of consideration, we have identified the next set of changes. We will be going for the laminated armor. We heard a lot of feedback about removing them completely, but it was clear that the loot system itself wasn't working as we intended. Finding laminated armor in the world should be a treat in a very rare moment. Right now, it is far too common, and laminated armors are normally found in groups. So with that being said, here are changes and some context as to why. We will be keeping the current laminated armor spawn cap of 155. This is the absolute cap of how many laminated armors can spawn in a match, not how many will spawn every match. We have reduced the chance of spawn per spawner from 10% to 5%. We have reduced the chance to spawn by 50%. This will help make laminated armors rare and special. We enabled a radius check so that laminated armors can't spawn within a 250 meter radius of each other. That's honestly pretty cool. Sometimes I'll go into a building and there's 2 laminated armors in the same exact building, which is pretty insane. Should not be happening, so that's a pretty cool system they set in place there. Grouping is a thing of the past. With these changes, if you find a laminated armor that you can't be sure there isn't another anywhere near you. With these numbers, we are looking at a max of 3 laminated armors per square of the map. Note, the current build on test will have a 150 meter radius check, but the next build has already been adjusted to 250 meters. Increase the bulk of the laminated armor from 500 to 1000 to combat the ability for people to carry multiple in the now rare case they do find them. That's insane, but I totally understand. Now everybody's just gotta rock those makeshifts instead of those, 5 extra Lammies they're carrying. Actually, you can't even carry 5. You can carry up to 4 extra Lammies. I think that's pretty insane if you actually dish out all of your inventory to make room for those Lammies. The most common place to find more Lammies will be to get them from bodies or airdrops. The airdrops will have laminated armor, 50% will have a laminated armor, 50% will have a laminated armor and a hunting rifle. For both scenarios, they will have 2 laminated armors in 5's game. Only in 5's you will find 2 laminated armors, so that is pretty cool. Now onto vehicles, the pickup truck. The pickup truck now suffers 0 damage and slowdown from destructible objects, so feel free to smash through backyards with a bit more freedom. That's awesome! We also reduced the amount of damage the truck takes from non-destructible objects, building, trees, etc. by 50%. Pretty cool. It has also received a significant engine and transmission overhaul, and the acceleration and top speed are now more in line with the off-roader. Its first gear acceleration is actually a little bit better than the off-roader, and it pulls longer before having to shift, while the top-end high speed is a little lower than the off-roader, but much closer than it used to be. Some center of mass and handling adjustments have been made so that it's still reasonable to drive now that it goes faster. General handling characteristics should be intact from the way it used to drive, just not as slow. The pickup truck's hill climbing capability was left as it was, so it loses 25% of its power on slopes steeper than 40 degrees. The off-roader, the angle the wheels turn with full steering input is now sharper. Oh, that's awesome. At low speeds, its turning radius is tighter and more responsive. When it gets going, we have a speed-sensitive tuning factor that has been adjusted so it's not hard to control or likely to get out of hand. We have a system to throttle the vehicle's hill climbing ability, which we've disabled on the off-roader. It now enjoys full power on slopes, and it is only limited by the simulations calculations for tire friction and drivetrain. Before, it used to lose 25% of its power on slopes steeper than 40 degrees. Now it loses none. There are still slopes it cannot drive up, but it's no longer artificially limited by the system. The hill climbing of the police car was now adjusted very slightly so that it now loses only 30% on slopes steeper than 35 degrees. This means it can still climb the same hills as it used to, just slightly slower. Now finally the parachute. I'm actually interested to see what this one's about. We have been adding dampening to the acceleration, deceleration, and maximum speed of the parachute once you are less than 150 meters from the ground. This is being done in order to give you a more controlled landing while removing the snapping that you do when you try to land in a specific spot. We will continue to tune and tweak these values until it feels right. What's going on in the test servers is our first pass. Finally, the other items of note. Spamming hipfire is a hot community topic and one that we do plan on addressing. We are working on larger changes to the overall weapon balances. That could include changes to hipfire and recoil here. Pushing these changes out right now without everything that goes in it would be creating more unbalanced gameplay. We believe players are really going to like these future changes, and this becomes our biggest priority after getting this update pushed out to the live servers. We look forward to seeing everyone's feedback on these changes. Jump into the test servers and let us know what you think. So the test servers, by the way, are open from, I believe, 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So based off your own time zone, you guys can figure that out right there. What is the most exciting thing you guys have heard throughout these patch notes? Let me know down below. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash that like button and also subscribe to the channel for more H1Z1 content. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.